Okay, so this photo is by Bailey Conley. It's of a gentleman in what looks to be like some type of water background. He's definitely in a building with some type of railing, and then there's some water in the background, some grasses, maybe a road back there. I think she does a really good job of using the elements and principles of design. I really like the emphasis that she puts on the subject. You know, he's like right in the center of the photograph, and like in terms of emphasis and in kind of terms of spacing as well. You know, he's like right there in the center, and it really kind of puts the focus on him. That's one of the things I like most about the photograph. You know, the subject is kind of right in the center, so it's a really good job of focusing on the portrait. There's no busy distractions in the background, like other people or cars or shops or whatever. It's just kind of like a nice neutral background, but it's also really pleasing to the eye. So it's that like really pretty water kind of landscape, and that's really nice. While keeping the emphasis on the subject, you know, there's also like a really nice background that might tell you a little more about the subject as well. Let's see. I also like that the subject is looking directly into the camera. In a lot of photos that I saw, the subject wasn't necessarily looking at the camera, which might be fine, you know, if that kind of works for that photograph or that portrait, but a lot of times it just kind of looked like the person wasn't paying attention. So I really like that he's kind of looking directly at the camera. Also, he seems really relaxed. It kind of gives off like a good impression of him. So maybe he like likes his job, or he's just really friendly. But I feel like the photo does a good job of kind of giving you the impression of his personality. Something I might change about the image. There's not a whole lot I would want to change. I really like this image overall. I would maybe find a way to make like who he is or like why you took his portrait a little more clear. Yeah, look, it's kind of interesting. It looks like you, or the artist, sorry, picked a stranger as the subject. So maybe they didn't know him, but they asked him to take his picture. I think it's really cool that he allowed them to do so, and that kind of, you know, for us, because we know about the assignment, tells us, you know, maybe a little more about his personality. But yeah, I would just maybe make it a little more clear, you know, like who he is. So, like, is he a waiter or a tour guide or, you know, whatever else. So it kind of just gives you a better impression of like who he is and why his portrait was taken. Overall, I just really like the image. I think it's a really good portrait with a really good focus on the subject, and it's just a really good image overall.